All right. I'm back. No more meatloaf. Back to Taru. Hmm. We are rather close to Kothos, aren't we? Best see to our own defenses and take stock of our supplies. Oh, and we'll also need to have beds and bandages laid out just in case. Good reception is ready for every eventuality. Let's go, Eskos. I have 100 of things to discuss with Slaffman. I love Tatari. Appreciate the warning. If war is coming to Kurthus, then the toll must be made ready. I'll increase the number of patrols and lookouts immediately, but I'll also see about finding room for an infirmary, as well as temporary housing for victims of the conflict. Ishgar has done well by us in the past, and I would return the favor. But as for rounding up volunteers for the fighting itself, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. I will not send my fellow guild members to die on Ishgardian soil. I am certain headquarters will say the same. There will be no Adventurers Guild presence at the siege. That said, each adventurer is, of course, free to do as he or she will. I shall have a word with some of my more capable colleagues on your behalf. And you might try your luck here in Reverend Stoll. I dare say there is a few stout souls about town who will answer your call to arms. Let's get started, shall we? We have a town to rouse. Sparing you talk of your glory and fame, I'm not in the habit of volunteering for lost causes. I've survived this long by trusting my instincts. My instincts tell me to stay away from Ishgard. Ishgard sounds like she's in quite a mess, but that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. Hmm. Need you to cast your mind about that scuffle with the Empire out by the processing plant. Lad from Alameda by the name of Willard was there with the fort that day, and I want to know if you've seen him since. Have you? God damn it! I feared as much. No one's bloody seen him. It's like the ground opened up and swallowed him whole. But that ain't all. Around the time Willard stopped turning up for duty, the black mark weapons missing from our vault, and well, duh. So now, of course, half the Braves suspect the lad is taken off with the goods. Folk like to believe that our company's disciplined fighting force, but you and me both know we were just a motley collection of mercenaries, adventurers, and Grand Company veterans. One of the things that binds us together is our vague oath of fighting for the freedom of all. That and the steady pay. Now, compared to most others in the crew, Willard's a fresh-faced novice, a bleeding whelp among wolves. But the kid's got passion. When he talked about being a guardian of Eorzea, he bloody well meant it. And a lad like him wouldn't rob us blind and bugger off like that. He ain't the type. And then, and this is just between you and me, mind, there's the fact that the lad wanted to tell me about something queer he noticed in the ledgers. Something about the Braves numbers not adding up. There's a villain at the end of this trail I've stumbled on, and I'll bet me good eye it ain't young Wilbur. Anyway, we got a war to rage, so I'll let you get on. I just thought someone should know. I'll be seeing you, Essicos. Wilbur. You saved him from being an idiot and little Alamigo. Royal, a member of the company Heroes, he's like, yeah, he may be fresh fish, but yeah, he's definitely someone who should be part of this. Train him up a bit, it'll be perfect. So Ishgard seeks Cellsaur's to boost its strength, huh? Though I'm not sure I'd like the sound of the siege. Those nobles sure are generous with their rewards. But I pledge myself to guard Reverend's toll. Modest work though is I'm loath to break the terms of my contract. What to do, what to do. Austere adventurer. Sell me blade to the Ishgardians? Well, them dragons are a fearsome lot, but I'll slay me fair share if the coin was good. I'm working for one of them nights before, you know. Watch me like a bloody hockey did. Still, I put up with worse than that for your heavy purse. Angular adventure? Volunteer my services to the defense of Ishgard? I think not. Dragons claim the lives of every one of my brothers. I do not mean to offer them mine. 'Twas to escape such a fate that I took up the mantle of adventure in the first place. Would sooner die in the pursuit of fortune than huddled behind an icy wall. There you are, Essicos. So, did you sway any hearts? Yeah. Learn two, eh? Well, added to mine that makes 3 or 4, including Softman's Fence. Won't have the largest company in the army, but I'd say one Reverend's 12 veteran is worth a dozen clanking knights at least. Oh, I also got so caught up with the recruiting, I almost forgot. It's been word from Elfino. Apparently, the Alliance leaders are convening at Old Dots to discuss Ishgard's plight, and they requested your presence, as usual. Anyway, you best make your way to Old Dot It'll be late. Alphino said that he'd meet you on the Royal Promenade. It's one of those things where I'm like eager to get to something and I know it's in sight. And with all hopes, before I have my D&D game tonight, I am going to be there. I broke up today's thing because I'm running long. I'm continuing as far as I can. Chamber of Roll. Maybe I should have cut myself a third slice. Hey, scarf down that meatloaf. My apologies for calling you away from your tasks. I hope to proceed with these negotiations one leader at a time, but it seems my urgent request for an audience has prompted a gathering of the council. Needless to say, I felt obliged to attend. The alliance leaders are already seated within. Let us join them, shall we?
We are well aware of Ishgard's dilemma, and we agree with your assessment.
Then I trust there are no objections to the Crystal Brave's intervention.
Uldar has none.
Gridania does not object.
The Crystal Braves are yours to command, Alphino. Do what you will. We shall pray for your success.
It was my hope that you would offer more substantial aid than prayer. I know it is within your means.
Do not presume that you have knowledge of our every concern. The Garleans and the Beast Tribes are but two of many. We are not in a position to contribute greatly to the defense of Ishgard, not when our own homes are still under siege.
We dare not leave our interests in Cartano undefended as well. Telegi Adalegi and his ilk would seize control of the territories in our absence.
The enemy is at their gates, and you would cower behind yours?
No one is cowering, boy. We will offer what support we can.
Aye, support. A handful of men and no more.
Would that we could commit more than a token force to this cause. Yet there are others to whom you might turn. The free companies ever want for work.
Ah, yes. The free companies. They're not like to turn you down.
I beg your pardon? You would entrust the survival of Ishgard to sell swords? Crises like these are the very reason why this alliance was formed. It is our duty to aid our fellow man.
My duty is to my country and my people. If you expect us to place the welfare of a foreign power above our own, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Lest you doubt, Limsa comes first, then the Alliance, and finally, circumstances permitting, Ishgard and the rest. If you cannot understand so simple a concept, then you have no place at this table.
Forgive me, Admiral. I was careless in my choice of words.
I suggest you assemble a party of elite adventurers, assuming you haven't already. Your fellows served us well during Operation Archon. I dare say they will do so again. If I may, Your Grace, I wish to propose a redistribution of forces. If we entrust the security of Uldar to the Brass Blades for a time, we can dispatch a larger force to Ishgard. Your Grace?
Yes. Yes, of course. Do what you will.
Is Her Grace not feeling well?
To the best of my knowledge, Her Grace is in perfect health.
I see. Carry on.
Once again, I owe you an apology. It seems you have been conscripted into leading a contingent of adventurers on yet another mission of inestimable danger. But I fear I have been left with little alternative. We cannot well abandon Lord Hochevon and Sir Emmerich to their fate. We must abide by the Council's decisions, as short-handed as it is, and strive to fulfill our roles as Eorzean Guardians. Captain Ilbert, what news? Then the assault has begun? We have but this moment concluded our audience with the Alliance leaders. Move our forces into positions. Your unit will join House Durandare at the Steel Vigil. Man the cannons alongside the knights and thin the Drovanian hordes ere they descend upon Nishgard. I will join you as soon as I am able. Eskos, I would have you and your adventurers allies bolster the defenses at the Step of Faith. Reports first to Sir Mercelian at the Gates of Judgment, and he will direct you to where you are most needed. May the gods grant us victory. I hope if I hit the right button on the mouse. You are the appointing captain of the Sellsword contingent? Then welcome. There's no shortage of brave work to be done. As we speak, Dravanian skirmishing parties have harried positions across the Central Highlands. I have assigned the Crystal Braves and your fellow adventurers to contain these scattered attacks, and for the present, I would have you join them. This, of course, will be a precursor to the assault on Ishgard proper. The wily serpents seek to divide and confuse our forces, but we will not be so easily drawn out of position. Temple Knights will remain at the Steps of Fate and continue our preparations. When the Horde arrives in force, we shall face a wall of Ishgardian steel. Report back to me once the advanced skirmishers are slain. Oop. Quick look at my companion. I think I have more skill points. I do not, because he's still rank 4 and he was rank 4 previously. Okay. Moving on. Excuse me. What news, adventurer? The reinforcements decimated, you say? Dravania devils, damn their scaly hides. Hold fast to your grief and fury, sir. We will avenge the death of our fellows in the battle to come. Ere you commit yourself to the siege, you should know that it is you are tasked to defending. Beyond the gates of judgments lies the steps of faith, a great bridge of stone that leads directly to the city of Ishgard. More than simply a means to cross the sea of clouds, the bridge serves as a foundation of the arcane wards that form the barrier we call Deafenin's Collar. Alas, in dispelling the barrier's outmost layer, the thrice-damned witch Iceheart stripped the bridge of its protection, and thus are the dragons now able to land unhindered upon the steps of faith. Should the Dravanians succeed in destroying the remainder of the wards, the winged devils will be free to swarm into the city itself. Needless to say, we cannot suffer that to happen. It shall be our task as defenders to prevent any harm from coming to these parts of the bridge, wherein the wards are sealed. All now rests on us, adventurer. Lead your comrades out onto the steps of faith and prepare to meet the horde. May the fury guide your blades. This is considered a dungeon. Think? Where's the trial? Where's it? Oh, there it is. It is a trial. Steps of faith. "12 minutes. Well, wind speed. I don't know wind speed. Should we do? Should we continue with getting enough of in water? I think that was actually seemed to be working out pretty well. Oh, I know what I could do to still be monk. I could do the pugilist hunting log. The smellmouth orba is nearby, so I've got something. See, they're right there. I didn't teleport. Teleporting here was not a waste. And I'm getting at least a little XP from it. Overgrown ivy. Let's see. V Shroud, Upper Novenosha. There's a South Shroud. And the Upper Pass. Bark Eft. 3 of those. There we are. That part's done. Anything else in the South Shroud? Lunosha, Central Shroud. Oh, where should I go? Where should I go? Shroud. Yes, over there by Quarry Mill. What else do we need? Shroud. Blood in a shed, blood in a shed, North Shroud, North Shroud, North Shroud, Wisdom Minutia, Central Shroud. Oh, there's okay. I don't know why these are called shroud hairs. This clay golems. I think. Yeah. And having lag. Everything else is in Lenosha. So we'll start in Upper Lenosha. That was a leggy. That's good. What do I need here? 5 Curio Pups and 5 Forest Drows. Wow, the leg is real. Well, that's business. We got pretty low a couple times there, but that wasn't too bad. The dragons, they're withdrawing! Victory is ours! We're Nidhogg's greatest champion slain. The Horde will not recover from this blow. But what of you, Nidhogg? Why did you not join your minions and make for this battle slaughter? Have you grown so fond of the stench of your lair? Mayhap you prefer to have your allies fight your battles for you. You have a girl to do your bidding now, do you not? No matter. I shall slay Iceheart and all the rest. But I yearn to spill the blood of the great worm, Nidhogg, and only your death will sate my lance. You know, he doesn't fly, he just jumps really high. You know the Superman thing of leap tall buildings with a single bound? Yeah, that's one of the Dragoon things, is they jump really well. In fact, they've got like different jump attacks. It's part of their rotation. I don't like the class. I hate it. I think it's dull. I mean, there's some complexities to it, I suppose, but it's like shunk shunk. Shunk shunk. Woo! Shunk. Shunk shunk. Woo! Ooh, spin around, hit the thing. And then there's also a thing where you start doing like lovely things like woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, what the hell is that? It's bad. I don't like it. I don't like the sound effects of that one thing. It annoys me. Main character is leveling it anyways because well, I'm crazy like that. I might just never do Lancer on Esgos at all. I mean, I could, but I don't there's no real need to. And honestly, the story, the class quests, Let's go. The dragons are routed. The less you wonder, the fighting at the Steel Vigil was also fierce, but my crystal braves were not found wanting. Commander Livia, Essigos, true to your word, you have arrived to aid us in our hour of need. On behalf of the Holy See and the people of Ishgard, I offer you my humble thanks. Though I would stay and lavish you with well-deserved praise, I fear I must away to oversee the aftermath of the siege. Not all the dragons have fled, and they are yet wounded to be carried from the field. Pray let us meet anon, that I might express my thanks with proper courtesy. I too would offer my thanks, Gusgos. Through your deeds, we have achieved a victory of singular importance. With the Dravanian horde thus weakened and scattered, the threat to Ishgard has been greatly diminished. Mayhap equally significant, the Holy See must now recognize the necessity of cooperation with foreign powers. Long have they barred their gates against the outside world, but I am confident that the day will soon come with Ishgard proclaims itself a member of the Eorzean Alliance once more. Much have we sacrificed in our struggles against dragons primals, the Ascians, and the Empire, but step by unfaltering step, we march ever nearer to our goal. And, as ever, the journey is made with you in the van. The victory you have won this day gives us greater hope for the morrow. Where are we? Oh, jeez. Tis a hope that shall sustain us in the days to come and bear us past the many evils that yet seek to hinder our progress. Yes, we have done well, my friend, and I, for one, would take a moment to savor the enormity of our achievement. The demands of duty, however, allow me little time for levity. I must accompany Captain Ilbord back to Elda and reassign those braves whose squads suffered heavy losses. You, my friend, have earned a rest at the Rising Stones. Pray return to Revenant Stoll and share your tale with Minfilia in person. Even with lag, everything is fine. I can almost do my class quest. How many quests do I have? One. Oh, I still need to finish this. The Steps of Faith. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. God. These quests are like simple, like do one thing and boom. No, it's like objective. Quest complete. Esagos, welcome back. Alphino sent word of the siege, and of course, the role you played in India. Your deeds never cease to amaze me, Esagos. Thank you. Okay, I am so warm. And our company gain is no rank, so. You must be wary, Esagos, and now may very well be your only chance to antecedent. Hi. A messenger from Ulda arrived with a missive for you. A royal seal? Curious indeed. Ah, an invitation. On behalf of the Council of the Oasis and Alliance, I, Royal Majesty Nanamo Ul Nanamo, invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to attend a feast at the Royal Palace of Ulda in honor of Ishgad's recent victory. It would seem you are to be recognized for your part in lifting the siege. You and your valiant efforts as commanders of the Adventurers contingent and the Archons for their earnest attempts to rouse the city-states. Truly, I find it strange that the Alliance leaders would think themselves disturbing of a place of such celebration. All three refused to deploy their standing armies, preferring to send hastily assembled companies of sellstones, many of whom perished as the siege began. Are they truly so brazen as to seek to share in the glory of the triumph? Ah, but mayhap we simply seek a pretext to meet with the Ishgadians. While the mood is yet jubilant, such an occasion would present a fine opportunity to press for Ishgard's return to the Eosian alliance. We have scarce had time to mourn Mubrida, and I, for one, am in no mood to carouse. But I suppose we must put away our grief for the good of the realm. Though were promised rest, you were promised rest. I fear I must insist that you also attend. It'd be a strange celebration indeed if the victorious hero were not present. Pray content yourself with the thought that such occasions may bring about momentous change, and this without recourse to bloodshed. Tataru, if you would do me the favor of contacting the rest of the Scions. Of course, Antecedent. And please let me know if there's anything else I can do. Yes, I haven't ever known Tataru to sigh at such requests. Could aught be amiss? Tataru is conspicuous by her absence. Tataru, I believe she just stepped outside. Now that I think of it, she did seem rather preoccupied. Oh, Essigos, it's you. I didn't mean to worry anybody. It's nothing, really. Well, it's not nothing exactly, but it feels like nothing compared to the towering trials you and the others face every day. And that's why I should probably talk to Minfilia before things get any worse. You always know what to say, Essigos. I'm glad you had this little chat. Didn't say anything. I just kind of like shut up. Yes, Tataru, you have my undivided attention. I've been hesitant to broach the subject, which with all the recent excitement, but Esco's made me realize there is no time like the present, and time is what I'm here to ask for. I'm not sure I understand. If you wish to be excused from your duties for a time, then you are certainly under rest. But I suspect that lying abed is far from your intent. You know me too well, Antecedent. There is, in fact, something I've been wanting to try my hand at. Along with the adventurers in the Crystal Braves, the Scions are constantly being thrown in dangerous battles and deadly predicaments. Even Horty Boulder and Coltonet have been promoted from guard duty to fill our need for competent warriors. And so it seems only right that I too should acquire the power to defend myself, and others, more importantly. When I return, I shall be both your receptionist and your bodyguard. Whoa, hey! That's the first time I've almost been knocked down to the ground by a Lalafell. I've never seen Miss Tataru so determined. Has aught befell for which I might help antecedent? Not at present, thank you. Was there something you would ask me? Oh yes, pray excuse my distraction. A adventurer who was to join us for escort duty was injured while out on patrol. I fear we cannot properly defend this scholars entrusted to our protection without the aid of at least one more guard. Therefore, I humbly request that another adventurer of the capable kind, of course, be assigned to our party. Very well, I should consider the potential candidates and provide you with a replacement as soon as I'm able. My thanks, antecedent. I take my leave for you. I'm gonna do both of these. Power to defend oneself. Tataru's ever so full of surprises. Now that I think of it, I do recall Oriange mentioning she had developed an interest in Arcanima. Perhaps she seems to gain admittance to the Arcanist Guild in Limsa. Yes, that will be that way. Would you be so kind as to journey to the guild and see that all is well? It is doubtless unwarranted, and surely I am not alone in my concern for safety. I wonder, do you perchance recall the commitment I made to furnish Hoary Boulder with a capable adventurer? Well, I'm sorry to say that I have as yet been unable to do so. Now, I realize you are rather more than a capable adventurer, and that escort duty is frankly beneath the man of your talents. But I have no one else to turn to at the present. Might you be willing to forego rest and assist in this matter? Well, considering everything else I do, escorting some scholars is probably not bad. Generous to a fault. I thank you, Esicus. Now, it seems only fair that I explain the import to the task in question. For some time, our order has employed a handful of scholars to travel around Eorzea, taking etheric readings that we might better understand the impact of the primal summonings. Naturally, it behooves us to ensure our employees' safety, so we ask that adventurers in our service to serve as escorts. Boulder and Colinet are to act as two such escorts, as was the third adventurer. Alas, due to injury, said adventurer is not presently fit for duty, hence my need to impose upon your goodwill. You are truly a pillar of strength, as it goes. As Holy Boulder will share with you the details of your task, he should be waiting for you outside. Be safe. I have an order for this. But first, because this is kind of like on my way out. Esicus, is it true you agree to lend us a hand? Huzzah! What did I tell you, Colin? Our misfortune has been a blessing, an opportunity to serve alongside the warrior of light himself. We need to remind you that we have 3 scholars to escort, each of whom will have to take a different route. True, but our mission is the same. Separated by moments we may be, but in spirit we shall be together. If such thoughts bring you joy, you are welcome to think them. 2 more practical concerns, I guess. We would be attend to the scholar charged with you attend to the scholar charged with surveying the south route. He's ready at Camp Tranquil as we speak. All you need to do is follow the man. He will determine the most appropriate locations to take his readings. In spirit, Esicus, in spirit, we shall be together every step of the way. We're going to Limsa. With lag, we will go to the limits. Escos, what are you doing here? Oh, just came to check in on how you were. I didn't mean for her to worry. It's the last thing I wanted. Putting an end to such worries is precisely the reason I'm here. Don't you see? I, Taru, you shall become a great and powerful Arcanist. And now, as Mistress Sombriam behest, I must go and complete a special training exercise until we meet again. Alright, I was trying to get through all these really quickly, but I'm going to make it slightly easier. Since I'm here, I'm going to talk to the receptionist. I'm going to join the Arcanist Council. Honestly, I'll probably be doing this over and over again. I'll probably still unlock everything. Is it already in there? Cool. I'm gonna put it in close. No, cancel. Gear set. Yeah, gear set. Here we are. Because I'm now level 1. Oh man. There is some buttons. See the creatures beyond the city wall. Actually, I'm just skipping through these. Well, I was hoping to get to this, but she's basically doing the same thing that's part of one of the Arcanist quests. See, she's got an Emerald Carbuncle with her. Or Azure Seas, Pirate's Port, where she meets the Shining Jewel. Or to bring the smuggler's plans of not come the last whom none could fool. Beat him with the backdraft, cut him with the gust, deck him with the downburst. Go, Carbuncle, go. Oh, are those crates I spy? Ah, this must be the true test. Ready for them, are we? Carbuncle? Carbuncle? Ah! Come back, Carbuncle! Come back! We should have known you'd come, Messigos. You needn't say a word. Your face says it all. I know you bore witness to my shame. Betrayal of my own carbuncle, left at the mercy of wild beasts. I must accept the truth. I'll never be a warrior like you and the others. I will inform Mr. Stibergrim of my intention to withdraw from the guild. Arcanima, like so much else, is beyond me. Ah, back so soon. How fared your fledgling Arcanist? Abysmally, mistress. Abysmally. As Escos will testify. I was wrong to become an Arcanist. Wrong as usual. I am completely and utterly unqualified, and I certainly apologize for wasting your time. Tataru, if that were true, I would not have permitted you to join in the first place. We must all come to accept our limitations, lest our ambitions lead us astray. However, we must not lose sight of our strengths in the process. For example, your exceptional skill with numbers, helping you to gain a solid grasp of the fundamentals of Arcanima. Were it not so, you would have struggled even to summon Carbuncle to your side. In my opinion, the Scions are truly fortunate to have a capable and good-natured receptionist in their service. Would you not agree? You are too kind, Mrs. Thibbergrim? Gym? Whatever. Though I could not overcome this challenge, I shall take your words to heart and try not to be discouraged. As fetching as these garments are, I fear I shall never don them again. But I can't go back to the Rising Stones without something to show for my time away. Wait, I know what I can do. That is, if you don't mind accompanying me for a little longer. Wonderful. Then to Costa del Sol we will go. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm confident it will pay off. Nope. She's already changed. Yes, this is it. This is where the band of Journey what told me to look. This is certainly a variety of clam that should be harvested this time of year in Bloodshore. Or one which produces the most marvelous pearls. However, these clams are also coveted by certain wild creatures, and since I fared rather poorly in battle last time, let us be off. What fortune, I've already found one. Would you be so kind as to keep watch while I work? This will only take a moment. Oh, the purple isn't ominous at all. Well fought, Esagos. Well fought. I knew it was right to ask you to come. As for me, I have my prize, a bounty of blood pearls. So named from the reddish hue they are treasured as wards against dark magics in ancient times. I thought I might make charms for everyone, so no matter where they go, they will always come home. It's a sort of the power. It's sort of the power to defend myself and the others, in a way, right? Well, I mustn't keep Flumen waiting. There's work to be done, and lots of it. We are to secure provisions for the Scions in limited markets. She may have an eye for quality, but I have a nose for bargains. Will you be heading back to the Rising Stones? If so, pray convey my apologies to the Antecedent and tell her that she needn't worry about me. Farewell, Esicos, and thank you for everything. Uh, that sounded rather final, didn't it? How about until we meet again? Tataru's baby. All right. At last, the Science Man deigned to grace me with his presence. A pity that we have no time for pleasantries. And my first designation is some hawk on your leaders, please. Sorry, I went and started becoming an archivist. Yes, this location would suffice. Once I finish calibrating my instruments, I will require but a moment to take the necessary measurements. I trust I need not explain what my work will suffer no introductions. Then please stand in appropriate distance and keep watch for wild beasts. I see you both completed our respective tasks. A satisfactory outcome, though I could make one suggestion. You might want to dispatch your food more quietly in the future. I do not like to pick faults, but I really must be allowed to concentrate. Now then, snake molt awaits, shall we? Right about here, yes. As before, I would ask that you keep an eye out for dangerous beasts as I work. Fascinating. These risks are not at all what I expected. Though perhaps it could come as no surprise. I'm not given to superstition, but there is a queer, almost blasphemous air hereabouts. Let us quit this place and return to Roots Lake. We have one more site to survey. As before, my guardian blade, lead me to my task and ensure our safety. Data should prove invaluable. Ye gods, what is that stench? Did you slaughter a crap of adamentoids while my back was turned? Quickly now, to Camp Tranquil. I will not have my clothing reeking of blood and offal. Maybe good at his work, but his personality needs an adjustment. You chose to paddle in the echo a while longer, I take it. No matter, I took advantage of my unexpected privacy and performed a cursory analysis of my data. It would appear that there are a measurable decrease in Eosia's ambient aether concentrations since the calamity. However, this data is far from conclusive. We may take additional measurements to ascertain my assessment. On our next survey, I would have you escort me to Earth's fault. The ambient aether concentrations there are so high that crystalline structures form spontaneously. Consequently, anomalous fluctuations should be much easier to detect. Brilliant, yes? No. Don't bother answering. That was rhetorical. Now, come along. He really is a dick. Go around. You should be more familiar with the procedure by now. Pray find a suitable position in which to keep watch while I take the measurements. I don't know why I end up standing up straight when I do that. When normally I'm like standing slouched even during things. Yes, quite high, yet still markedly lower than the historical measurements taken at the end of the successful era. Could be a presence of primal account for the difference, or is there something else? Something. Something else. Scion, come here, I need you. Fear not, my friends, help has arrived. There you are, Askus. Hoy and I were worried when you and your shard failed to return at the appointed hour. Gut it like a hawk, but not by one. These wounds were made by a blade. Didn't look like he put up much of a fight either. Nary a mocking sword or shield. I've heard nothing of any Crystal Brave operations in the area. What cause for the head Willory to come here? What should we do? What should we do? We'll see to the scholar's protection, Eskos. Aye, the boy's remains? Aye, and the boy's remains. You should return to the Rising Stones. The Antecedent will want to know what happened here. And so do I. So this partially cuts down on, or speeds up some of the quests. Welcome, Eskos. I gather you found Tataru and Limsa the Mensa? My, it sounds as though she had quite an adventure, and while it did not end as she hoped, I suspect that it will prove to be a valuable experience. I dare say she could have managed without our intervention. Even so, I appreciate you indulging my request. Eskos, you have returned and you seem troubled. Did the role of escort cafes so? Chafe you so? Will we're dead? Maybe murdered by the 12. How can that be? I will send word to Alphonero at once. We will conduct a full investigation and send word to Wilred's family. Gods, he was just a boy. Who could do this and why? Well, the recent events we've held in my minds, we must needs set them aside for now. We have come to a defining moment in Eosian history. The grand commemoration of our joint defense of Ishgard, the first time in 15 years that our people stood side by side with their neighbors to the north to fight in common cause. This may mark the true rebirth of the Eosian alliance. And failing that, it should at least, very least, serve as a nations closer together. We have every reason to raise our voices in celebration, do we not? We have bested Dravanians and Ascians both. Against desperate odds, we have fought and won. But the primals still plague us, and the Empire still plots our subjugation. And our triumphs, remarkable though they are bought at a terrible price. Brave adventurers and allies, broken on the steps of faith, and before our eyes in this very room, our dear friend Moonbreeder. This is the victory we have wrought, and it is a bitter ashes in my mouth. I would sooner stay here and invite those with more appetite to enjoy the feast in my stead. Alas, it is a royal banquet, and all our allies will be in attendance. It is our duty to present a united front, and that we might serve as a beacon of hope to all. Seems I have no choice but to take my own advice. Instruct the others to meet us in Ulda. That will make time for our grand entrance together. Unfortunately, I have to settle with leaving Tataru and Lamin at the note. If they do not return quickly, we will have to settle with whatever leftovers I can smuggle out of the fragrant chamber. Off to the great soiree, Esgos. Raise a glass for me, eh? Or not. You don't look best pleased, lad. Something on your mind? By the Navigator, Wilward's dead? Gods damn it. They must know they've been rumbled. Sodded. It's past time we had this talk. After our last conversation, I got to thinking about where certain funds were coming from, so I had to dig around, on the quiet like, and sure enough, I found it. Seems a fair bit of coin made its way into the Braves coffers, courtesy of Dodo Consortium. A daft name for a business, if ever I heard one, which what first gave me an inkling of something went right. So I went through the ledgers again and found another half-dozen donations from organizations with stupid bloody names. Didn't take long to find the common thread. All were owned by the Mirage Trust. Oh, I'll give the bastard credit. He showed us up for the amateurs we are, short in calling one of his businesses the Bloody Bribery Consortium. I don't know what more he could have done to mock our rules and financial conditions. The gods only know how many men of the first and third are taking to Legi's coins, but now we know as some are. I wager me right when they're the ones who did what did for Willard. The earnest young fool was taken to asking the wrong kind of questions, bound to attract attention he was. Should have seen it at the time, and I did it. God's damning. Still, I don't see what Taleji hopes to accomplish. He hid his scheme with all the care of a drunk pissing in the wind. No, he's cleverer than this. So we need to be clever too. That's the only way we'll ever repay his debt blood. We'll purge every one of them treacherous bastards from our ranks. On that you have my word. And Esagos, mind yourself when you're on Ulda, eh? We're heading into a storm. I can smell it. The kind that'll seep a man's overboard and drag him under before he knows it. Alright. Our last 4 quests. We have been waiting for you, Esagos. The celebration is to do shortly. I hope that we might find it in our introductions together, but Mistress Maroon just sent word that you are needed at the quicksand. We'll go on ahead. Hey, Esagos, pray join me once matters at the quicksand are resolved. Give my regards to Momodi. And let her know that I will call upon her in the norm. I appreciate your dropping in at such short notice, Escos. I know you've got places to be, so I won't waste your time. You're friends with a crystal braid by the name of Leanne, aren't you? Former adventurer? Come to think of it, pretty sure you recruited her yourself. Well, anyway, she came around with a meal not long ago, and before she left, she asked me to give you a message. Said if the others ended up dragging you to the feast, I was to see you got it before you made your grand entrance. Meet me at the station west of Coffer and Coffin. There's something I must show you. A short message, I grant you, but she thought long and hard before picking those words. Barely touched her food, too. Under other circumstances, I'd have thought that those signs of troubled heart, but something tells me she ain't planning to confess her undying love. Down to just over 500,000, half a million to go. XP. As you stand on the platform, your thoughts begin to wander, and all too soon, the ghosts of comrades lost and enemies slain begin to file in your mind in solemn procession. Clearing your head, you scan the horizon and see no sign of a lane. Turning your ears to listen, you hear the chattering of Kikarin and the buzzing of Seraphis, but no approaching footfall. Sighing, you bow your head, only to notice the vial lying at your feet. That's Ghost. Is that you? What brings you out this way? You attend to Alian? Why, no, I haven't seen her about. Has she come this way? I guaranteed that we have crossed paths. You must have passed this spot a dozen times. You're to patrol the city's environments on account of the royal banquet. Captain's orders, you understand? Speaking of which, isn't it about to begin? You should be on your... Yeah. Be with the honored guests. Enjoy your well-deserved respite. Aye. Pray return to Elda, as it goes. By chance meet the lieutenant, I'll tell her you were here.
O Sultan Tree, hallowed spirit of my line. Through my weakness, the glorious house of Ul has all but disappeared beneath the sands. For want of the strength to raise it up again, it were better that it fall. Forgive me, but I know not what else to do.
Reckon you'd head straight to the feast after meeting with Eliane. What's the matter? No appetite? So she wasn't there, but this? Let's see. Hmm. Looks like an alchemist vial, but beyond that, I can't say. Might be best if you hold on to it for safekeeping, though. Any road, no use worrying about Eliane. I'm sure she'll turn up before too long, and when she does, we'll soon find out what this is all in aid of. Besides, he's got more important things to think about. Would you believe that? While you were away, another message arrived for you. Well, one did. One delivered by the Sultana handmaiden, no less. Seems Her Grace desires a private audience. Her handmaiden will meet you at the Royal Promenade and escort you to the Sultana's chambers. So what are you waiting for? Go on then. Go.
You needn't trouble yourself so.
Your Grace is most kind, but it is no trouble to me, rather an honor. If your Grace is ready, I shall summon the Warrior of Light.
I am.
Everyone looks to be in high spirits.
With good cause.
A common victory may serve to unite even the most unlikely of allies. You've brought us one step closer to a united Eorzea.
Your modesty knows no bounds, Antecedent. Were it not for your efforts, Sir Emmerich would never have become such a steadfast ally. When he convinces his countrymen to rejoin the Alliance, we shall all reap the benefits, military and economic. I tell you, we are on the cusp of a new era of unity and prosperity. Territorial disputes are all that divide us now, but I have faith that we will find an amicable solution in time. And failing that, I'll have my trusty Warrior of Light box the ears of all concerned. Speaking of whom...
He will be joining us shortly. A matter at the quicksand required his attention, but it did not sound serious.
Thank you for coming, sir. Her Grace is most eager to speak with you. If you require a moment to compose yourself before your audience, you may have it. Or if you are ready, it will be my honor to escort you to Her Grace's chambers forthwith. This is probably going to say something about a whole bunch of cutscenes. I'm going to quickly pause here while I quickly refresh my beverage so we can go through those cutscenes without me going crazy with not having a beverage. One moment. All right. I don't think this will take a half hour. Well, I think I have a little more than that.
Enter.
Your Grace, your guest has arrived.
Pray, come in and take your ease.
Tis well that the steps of faith held against the Horde.
And what of the city proper?
We sustained some few losses, but the heart of our nation yet beats with vigor. I am not certain I could say the same had we not received your most generous aid.
An attack on Ishgard is an attack on the realm. We stand together or fall divided.
Such noble words after the fact.
I had hoped to speak in the presence of her grace, but it seems she has been delayed. That being the case, now would seem as good a time as any. Honored friends, pray allow me to convey Ishgard's warmest gratitude for your part in the defense of our lands. Tis upon the success of this very alliance that my recommendation to throw open the gates of judgment shall be founded. With the blessing of the Archbishop, it is my hope that Ishgard will soon be reunited with her long-estranged sister nations, and that Eorzea shall once more be as one.
Very well.
Is aught amiss?
Nothing to worry about. I shall return anon. You wished a word, Yu Hase?
You may go.
Your Grace.
You must be curious as to the reason for this private audience. The matter I would discuss, however, will soon make apparent the need for discretion. I intend to abdicate the throne and dissolve the monarchy. You have seen for yourself the storm of turmoil that howls through our streets. The government fails in its responsibilities, and my subjects suffer the consequences of our incompetence. But I will see them suffer no longer. The victory feast shall provide the stage on which I declare the dissolution of the Sultanate. 'Tis mine intent that the ruling class of our golden city should take its place beside the common man in a fair and equitable republic. No more shall this nation bow to the whims of a privileged few. Yet, that which I propose will entail the tearing up of this city's very foundations. And even Roban, with all his strength and influence, will be hard-pressed to keep his footing on such treacherous ground. Thus would I ask you to lend him a steadying hand. You who have endured the wrath of innumerable foes are the one hero in whom I can place my trust. Will you do this thing for me? I am truly grateful. More grateful than I can well express. How much we have both changed since that day we met beneath the Sultan tree. And the days ahead promise to change us further still. I hope that we will recognize ourselves when all of this is over.
Your Grace! Her Grace, the Sultana, is dead. Poison in her wine? You did this!
Spare us your denials! I see no other suspects, and the room has but the one entrance. I hereby accuse you of regicide. Men, arrest this viper.
Sir, barring a few exceptions, we have detained all those with allegiance to the Scions. The Rising Stones is also under our control.
No. I didn't kill her. We all knew that. They're accusing me that I killed her. I did not kill her. Let's make this
what
clear.
do you hope to
We were
achieve
free.
with this mutiny?
Why, that which we have striven for all along, Commander. The salvation of Eorzea.
Wait, we want you to believe in what the story actually believes if you had seen the previous part before you got back. is that we were framed, which we were. Who did it? I know, but that's because I already played through this on a different character. I'm not going to spoil it. In any case, we know one thing. Explain. We're framed. We were framed. We were surprised about the poison thing.
Knights from the homeland. This cannot bode well.
Lord Commander, we have received an urgent message from the Holy See. I am grieved to report that your serpentine foes have resumed their assault. Needless to say, your presence is urgently required. These knights have come to bear you swiftly home to Ishgard.
A surprise attack?
We've had no such word from our men, and the timing is most fortuitous to catch us away from the city.
Most fortuitous indeed.
Lord Commander, we must away.
You have been a most gracious host. I hope that I might one day return the favor. Come, Lucia.
Whatever is going on in there? Ah, the ever-dutiful brass blades. I must apologize, but my dance card is rather full. Another time, perhaps?
Thancred, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. You stand accused of committing acts of espionage in service to the Garlean Empire.
Espionage? What in the seven hells are you talking about? Ah, if you're referring to that business with the Ultima weapon, then you must understand, I wasn't myself.
Under interrogation, an Imperial prisoner revealed your involvement in numerous dealings with the enemy. We've also been investigating reports that you are a practitioner of forbidden arts. You'd best come along with us.
You invite me to your party and now you want me to leave? I do so detest receiving mixed signals. Come then. I believe I've lost my appetite for this farce of a celebration.
You go too far, Lord Adeleji. By what right do you march armed soldiers into a royal banquet and eject state visitors without her grace's consent? You treat the brass blades as your personal army and show contempt for the throne with your every act. Leave us, now.
Is that an order, General? Mayhap you have mistaken me for one of your flames. You will find I am not so slavishly obedient. As you lecture me on personal armies. As for your outrageous claim that I have shown contempt for the throne, let all here observe that it was not I who feasted while an assassin removed its occupant. I expect this is your idea of defending the nation, is it? This and diluting our forces through these distractions in Cartano and Kurthus. I do begin to see how the ranks of the Immortal Flames came to be riddled with Garlean sympathizers. You are plainly unfit for command.
Wait, goddamn you! Your words make no sense. What assassin?
You mean to say you don't know? We caught the vaunted champion of the Scions in her Grace's private chambers, not moments after the deed was done.
No! No, this cannot be!
Save your breath. You will need it to plead your case. You and your entire order are to be tried for this atrocity. Bring in the prisoner!
This man stands accused of poisoning Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ul Namo, and as suspected accessories to the crime, all members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn will be detained for questioning.
This is madness!
What a pity. Who'd have thought your tale would end like this?
Should you demand further proof, a vial with traces of the substance used to poison Her Grace was found upon the assassin's person.
How very convenient.
You would speak of convenience? Who persuaded Her Grace to host this celebration? A diversion which presented you and your confederates ample opportunity to commit the crime, and a crowd within which to fade from view. A more convenient occasion I could scarcely imagine.
How dare you! After all we have done for Uldar!
Hold your tongue, witch! I'll not be ensorcelled! I know all about the dark gift that you and your disciples wield. Oh, yes. I've observed how you worked upon the minds of the Alliance leaders, bending them to your will. And what of your cordial relationship with Sir Emmerich? For years, Ishgard abjured all contact with the outside world, and now the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights treats you with the familiarity of a childhood friend. I'll tell you what I think. I think this desperate defense of Ishgard was but a ruse to deceive us into dividing our forces. Your next move will be to charm your Kurthan allies into invading our lands. Now that is truly ridiculous.
How do you even think of this stuff?
She cannot be dead. Stand aside, Ilbert. I want to see the Sultana.
Spare yourself the pain, brother. I saw her with my own eyes. For a mercy, the poison took her swiftly. Her handmaiden can attest to that.
This cannot be. Nanamo. Nanamo. No!
Plainly, the Royalists can no longer be relied upon to keep our nation safe. And so it falls to the monitorists of the Syndicate to govern Uldar. But should you wish to help us, General, we would be more than happy to entrust the task of planning Her Grace's funeral to you. It seems only right that you should bury your precious Sultana, and we will be glad to be rid of that burden.
I'll bet you will. You more than any man.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean you had her killed, you black-hearted bastard!
What rot! Though I did have sufficient motive, 'tis true. That young lady caused me no end of grief. She always was a most unwilling puppet. I dare say her grace was grateful that someone thought to cut her strings.
You would mock her, then mock her from hell!
Have you lost your mind, General? It is forbidden to draw steel in the royal chambers, much less slaughter our fellow syndicate members. You're one of them. You've been in league with the Scions all along.
You're next, you scheming bastard!
Oh, Raban!
7 hells!
Admiral, we must leave.
Ah!
How unlike you, old friend. I did not expect to take your arm so easily.
Take the Scions into custody. They have conspired to commit regicide. And arrest this traitor as well.
Ilbert, I hope you choke on their coin.
'Tis better than the dirt I've supped on these long years. We can't all abandon Alamigo and become great war heroes as you have. You are not the man you once were, Raban. Since that girl strapped the yoke around your neck, you've become docile. She took the mad bull and cut off his balls, and a bull that cannot rot is fit for naught but slaughter. Shall I tell you who really killed your precious Sultana? It was me.
You die! I never doubted you, not for a moment. But there is more to this than I yet understand. Flee this place. Clear your names. Find out who is behind this plot. It is the only way. Now go!
Ah, there you are.
Thancred, where have you been?
Avoiding the fumbling advances of some very persistent admirers. When I realized the celebrations had turned sour, it seemed prudent to slip away and take stock of the situation. 'Twould appear that much of the city is already under tight guard. It occurs to me that expanding the Brass Blade's authority may not have been such a wonderful idea after all.
The success of this plan was contingent upon those thugs having the run of the place. Just how long has this scheme been in motion?
The careful preparations, the maneuvering of forces. I am inclined to agree with the General's insistence that a deeper plot exists here.
So, would I be right in thinking we now have an excuse to pummel as many brass blades as we like?
Unless you plan on pummeling them all, I'm not sure that will greatly aid our cause.
The Sultana's assassination was but one part of the scheme. We too were its targets. And though we did not share Ponanimo's fate, we are yet hobbled by the charges laid at our door. Where now might we seek refuge?
Where indeed, we may safely assume that our foe is thought to have the Rising Stones watched.
Forgive me for stating the obvious, but our choice of destination will matter little if we cannot secure an escape route out of Ulda. Happily, I believe I can provide one. Papa Shan once told me about the passages hidden in the walls of the palace. If I recall correctly, the fireplace in Animo's chambers conceals the entrance to a tunnel. It should lead outside the city and allow us to avoid any messy confrontations.
The rest of you, go on ahead. I'll handle this lot.
By yourself? I suppose I shall just have to join you.
Crystal Braves too, huh? Now this should be interesting.
Ida! Papalimo!
We will hold our pursuers here. Hurry, now! Find this tunnel of Thancred's.
Minfilia, we cannot linger.
Now look what you've done.
Ida, are you all right? There are just too many of them.
I'm fine. I could do this all day. How about you?
Nearing the end of my tether.
This is so stupid. We're the scions of the Seventh Dawn. The ones who stand between this realm and the evil that's trying to destroy it.
And if you think we'll leave the stewardship of Eorzea to the likes of your masters, then you're sorely mistaken.
Sorry I dragged you into this, Papalymo.
'Tis hardly the first time, and I'll be damned if it will be the last. Let them have it, Ida!
I was hoping you'd say that.
Are they multiplying? Are you losing control?
I never knew such a watercourse existed beneath Uldar.
The architecture is of the Sildine style, if I'm not mistaken. The ancients plainly foresaw the need for a ready means of escape.
This way!
Well, that didn't take long. It seems these tunnels were not as secret as I'd hoped.
You two, go on ahead. Thancred and I will deal with this.
What do you mean to do?
Only that which is required to ensure that the dawn's light survive to brighten the morrow.
Fear not, antecedent. You haven't seen the last of these fair features.
My friends.
Leave us!
What is the plan, milady? Shall I take the dozen on the left and you the dozen on the right? The odds are not exactly stacked in our favor.
Numbers will count for little when I bring the tunnel down upon their heads. Though I cannot say I relish the thought of being entombed with you for all eternity.
You wound me. I will have you know that many a maid would kill for the chance to spend forever at my side. Now, may I have the last dance? Well, this is going splendidly. Now would be a good time, milady!
'Tis done.
Forgive me, Mitra.
Farewell, Sylvia.
Heidelin, she speaks to me. No. I must remain behind, but you cannot stay with me. Please, you must go on. You are the warrior of light. You are hope for the Scions and for all the realm. As long as your flame continues to burn, the light of the dawn may ever be relit. You must escape and save Eorzea from those who would plunge it into darkness. Tis the only way.
I am glad to see you safe, my friend. What of the others? Damn that man! Teleji played me for a fool! I thought the Crystal Brave's mine till the very moment I felt the blade at my back.
There will be ample time for soul-searching later. For now, we must put some arms between us and Ul'dah.
Well, would you look who it is? Need a ride? I doubt it'll be half as exciting as the last trip we took. Not if I have anything to say about it anyway. Let's not dawdle, eh? All aboard!
It's taking longer than I thought.
I was stocking up on supplies over in Vesper Bay, you see, when your sister come up and begged a favour. Said her brother was having some trouble down in Uldar, and likely needed a helping hand getting away. Thinking them ruins would make a fine hiding place, I decided to try there first. And lo and behold, there you were! Aye, and judging by them soldiers as were pouring out of the city, I arrived not a moment too soon. Ha! Must have been fate that we happened to find you there, though, eh?
I had thought to look out for Alize, but would appear she was the one watching over me. I've made such a mess of things.
And who might you be, young sir?
Pippin Taropin, Vice Marshal of the Immortal Flames. I had been on the Alamegan front these past few moons, but an urgent communication called me back to Uldar. Scarce had my boots touched the cobbles, though, when the streets erupted with cries of assassination. I immediately went in search of answers, and came across Master Alfino here. Needless to say, I did not think his imprisonment justified. The blame plainly lies with the Monitarists. Their greed and corruption are well known to me, but for them to take advantage of the situation with such alacrity...
Was that Pippin, you said? Ain't that the name of General Alden's lad?
Yes, I am his son. Adopted, of course. 'Twas only as we were leaving Uldar that I learned of father's fate. Once I have seen you a safe distance away, I mean to return to the city and extricate him from this madness.
Then you needn't travel no further than Blackbrush. Our fugitives have a friend waiting for them there.
I dreamed of bringing about Eorzea's salvation, but in the end... "'twas I who needed saving.
The soldiers keep searching for a while yet. Reckon you'll take the carriage back towards Ul'dah and get the lay of the land. Maybe provide a distraction if need be. You three wait here. Help will be along shortly. Stay strong, friends. The real fight's to come. Most unassuming folk can prove to be our greatest allies. That fellow has been but a passing merchant, yet he lent his aid without a moment's hesitation, or any hint of concern of his own safety. Though I can well imagine how a man can feel inspired to risk all in your presence. Father spoke often of you, Escos, and long have I looked forward to our first meeting. Needless to say, this is not at all how I envisioned it. Master Alfino, you must not give in despair. That would only play into our enemy's hands. So long as you and Escos are free, we may still set things right. Forgive me, Master Tarpin, but Alfino, my boy. Sorry to keep you waiting. Sid, What are you doing here? Pulling you out of the fire, as usual. Your merchant friend told me everything. Truly, then he is no merchant but an angel in peddler's clothing. But tell us, how do you intend to bear our friends to safety? I hid the Enterprise just but a short distance away. All I need is the destination. You will find a place beyond the reach. You must find a place beyond the reach of the Montrous and the Crystal Braves. Kothis. Ishgard will not suffer the intrusion of foreign forces in their territory. That settles it. With me, everyone. Not I fear. I must remain here. I dare not abandon Uldar to the Montrous and their cronies. You may be certain that they will seek to defame you, both here and in other city-states, but know that I shall do my utmost to thwart their every effort. Frankly, I do not expect it to be much of a challenge. The small folk will not turn so easily on the Warrior of Light and his allies, no matter what the Monitors claim. Marshal Tarpon, I know not what to say. Ha! Now that father would labor to believe. But enough talk. You must go, Master Alphino. Your airship awaits. Up, up! There's no rest for the righteous. You should make for Camp Dragonhead and speak to Lord Holshrafont. Mayhap he will know what to do. I estimate that was about 40 minutes of cutscenes. I have D&D very soon, but I hope I can at least complete this one quest and get us into Ishgard. It's been a long day. Mr. Alphino told me your tale, Leskos. It warms my heart that you should turn to me after all the others, and I shall endeavor to deserve your trust. Alas, the situation here has grown complicated in your absence. It would be best if I explain in full. In times of trouble, there are few things more precious than unconditional support.
There has been word from the capital. Ishgard has weathered another assault, and 'tis said several wyverns broke through into the city proper. The Temple Knights succeeded in slaying the beasts, but the intrusion prompted orders to further strengthen the guard, and to place the city under a perpetual state of alert. How keenly we feel the loss of our wards at the gates of judgment. Yet we must not bemoan our misfortune. Sir Emmerich is safely returned from Uldar, and once more leads the defense of Ishgard. As for the matter of your asylum,
I am afraid no progress will be made until the threat to our nation is diminished. But do not despair. You are not without allies. You are more than welcome to shelter here for as long as you wish. Pray, think of it as a new headquarters of sorts. The Falling Snows, or some such. All frivolity aside, any who come here in search of you will receive no aid from House Forton. For once, the Ishgardian reputation for inhospitality shall work in our favor. Agents of Uldar will find their every inquiry dismissed, and their every request for entry rebuffed, until such time as their masters have acknowledged your innocence. You once fought to preserve the honor of my dear friend. 'Tis a blessing that I may now repay that debt in kind. But let us dwell no more on this. Pray, join the rest of your companions. 'Tis bitterly cold this day. I suspect there are those who might welcome the warmth your presence brings.
Okay, I'm not sure if I have time. So, I'm going to call it here for tonight. We will basically finish Realm Reborn tomorrow. Promise. Or maybe I'll do it later tonight. We'll see. Keep watch. Still. Just over 500,000 XP to go. Forgot how long this last part takes. Oh boy. And then we go Heavensward.